Hello and welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast. I'm Michael Sheridan. On this show, through analysing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you what your superpowers are, what your spiritual gifts are, how you're here to help the world, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. But these bumps are not in the way, they are the way. And I say it all the time. So we have a gift that we want to use, we really feel drawn to, or whatever it is. And it doesn't, like a lot of things that we consider to be spiritual gifts are well understood, like channeling is a spiritual gift. But there's a lot of gifts that are spiritual that we wouldn't even think of as spiritual gifts. And that includes like writing, singing, many other things. So anything that is to do with expression of your soul, where you get to really freely express yourself and as you are, that's a spiritual gift. And so normally we will have something like that we really want to do and something that blocks us from it. And we tend to look at our lives and say, well, I would do it only for this. And this is the problem. But the reality is we came here to solve that issue, because in solving that issue, it's going to help us to grow. That's where the growth is. Why is it other people don't have that issue? Because they've grown past that one. They have different issues. So the bumps in life, I say it all the time, are the way that you are going to grow. And so don't look at them as this is the problem in my life. It's like this is the manifestation of what it is I need to work on. And the sooner I start eating away at that, the sooner I'm going to have dealt with it successfully and moved into the next phase of my life. And anything we don't deal with, we can always come back and deal with it again and again and again and again until eventually we do. Or maybe you'll deal with it in the life review and you'll realize how futile it was to hold on to that. But anyway, the point is the bumps are the way. So definitely that's what you need to focus on. Don't worry about them. Obviously they're an issue. You have to overcome them. You have to do something. You have to change. It requires you to change. That's the growth part. But look at it as, okay, great. Because I can see my obstacle, I know what I have to work on. I don't need to go to a fortune teller. I don't need whatever it is. I know what I need to do. Maybe I need to get counseling. Maybe I need to get help from somebody in some other way. And that's okay, because that's what you came here for. So what have we got coming up? 30th of November at 3 p.m. Pacific time, April Angel is going to be giving a webinar on how dreams reveal your life purpose. And the following day, on December 1st at 11 a.m. Pacific time, Holly Petros is going to be doing the same thing. Now they're on both webinars, helping out. And one, Holly's working in the background answering your questions, and in the other, April's working in the background answering your questions. So they're free. You'll find the links to that on my website, dream-analysis.com. You will also find the links to download my free dictionary at dream-analysis.com. And if you get on my list, you'll find out about everything that's going on. So that's always cool. So let's just launch into some people's dreams. And I got this one, and I'm not going to pronounce this properly, from Saheb. And she says, I've been happily married for 3 years. However, I keep having dreams about my ex-boyfriend 2 or 3 times a week. The dreams mostly consist of the toxic behaviour or situations I was previously in with the ex. Okay. What you got to realize is this is a super common dream. And it doesn't mean anything negative about your current relationship. What it means is that you are still holding on to something from the previous toxic relationship that is causing you to hold back in this relationship today. So look at your life, look at your past relationship, look at what you resolved to do, because usually that's what it is. It's like, I don't want to get burned again, so I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to commit in the next relationship, or I'm going to hold back. I'm going to whatever it is. Find that thing and then stop doing it. Quite often it's just a choice, and it's a choice to undo it as well. And the dream is saying that is limiting you in this relationship. So even though your current partner is not the same person and not the same way, you are living like as if they are. And so you need to undo something. And it's completely understandable why we do it until we think about it. If you've been really burned, then you want to put up safeguards and safety rails and all sorts of things. but we forget to take them down. That's our biggest mistake. One of our biggest mistakes in life is we tend to forget to take down the safety rails that we put up and the guardrails that we're going to keep people. I'm not going to let anyone get close to me because I got burned so badly. And then we still keep the people we really like and love at a distance because we keep that barrier up. So it's a good thing to have in your dream. But because it's coming up a lot, it means you really need to do something about it. And by good thing, I mean, it usually only happens when the current relationship is really good. It's kind of like dreams about your boyfriend dying in a car crash. They're always a good dream. They don't indicate that he's going to die, but it means that you're afraid of that. And of course, I'm saying all that. There is always the possibility that you're afraid of this relationship going that direction. But our thoughts, like the same direction as before, becoming toxic and so on. But our thoughts create our reality. So we tend to create the very things we're afraid of because we supercharge those thoughts. The more emotion we have behind a thought, the stronger it is in creating our reality. So you don't want to do that. You want to have no fears, want to drop all that. Easy for me to say, I understand. And so maybe you need to do some work on yourself. Maybe you need to heal some issue with dad or somebody going back. It's usually going to be the same gender as the person you're having the issues with. But looking at your age, maybe don't. It may not be the time for you yet. But that's what your dream's about. I wouldn't worry about it. Obviously, it's persistent, so you need to do something. But I wouldn't worry about it other than the fact that it is telling you you need to do something. So let's move on. What would it mean if you're pregnant, or at least think you're pregnant in your dream, and then later on it's somebody else and you decide it's not relevant? Well, let's have a look. We have Leah's dream, and she says in her comments, I can read a bit of Russian in real life, and that's because of something that happens in the dream. So here's her dream. I was rubbing my belly thinking I was really fat. The phrase 21 weeks kept running through my mind. So when you said that right at the start of the dream and the 21 weeks, obviously I'm thinking pregnancy, which is good in a dream. And 21 weeks, 2 is about channeling and 1 is about individual path. Now notice this, 21 comes up again in our dream, but it's amplified by a magnitude of 10. So 21 weeks kept running through my mind, so it's good. I was walking through a small area with bushes and vegetation in an outside area. There were 2 ponds on my left and 1 pond on my right. The 2 were connected by a thin channel. Channel is a pun on channeling, of course. A thin channel of water, so that in its entirety, it looked like a figure 8 because the water was so green on the surface. I assumed it was murky, but then I looked more closely. I could see that the water was actually perfectly pristine and crystal clear. The green I was seeing was the vegetation growing on the bottom of the pond. I could also see fish and ducks, or maybe geese. It was the most beautiful water I had ever seen. So when I read that piece, I got the sense that, wow, this is amazing, and nobody really knows this is here, you know. So you stopped and you looked at it, and that's what the dream wants you to do. It's about your spiritual side, and it's about growth through working on your heart. Because of the figure 8, that's about the heart. But it really means work on something. So do something about it, like do a therapy, do a even if it's a self-help thing, do something to improve and open up. And we know, when I say heart, I'm talking about the emotions and feelings and expressing those and being in touch with your feelings. And we're going to see more of that in the dream. But the green is the color of the heart chakra, and the bushes and vegetation can indicate that. And then the ponds would be about a spiritual reservoir that you need to grow. Now I get this sense that these are kind of like big ponds, I hope they are, rather than little tiny ones. So it's not about your physical body. And again, like I said, the sense of this is an amazing place and nobody really knows about it. So it's about you having discovered this aspect of you that you need to get to understand and know about. And then we have the thin channel of water that connects the things. Now, the fact that you say it's thin is the negative. So it is about channeling, and that's what the 21 is about at the start, that you are a channel, you need to develop that gift. And thin is about limiting that. So you need to do something to expand your channel and make it work better. And I love that the water is pristine and crystal clear, because that is about your channeling. It's all going to be a comment on that this is Your channeling is good, better than you think. You were there to lay down coins totaling 210. Now, I told you the 21 would come up again, and here it is, 210. And again, so it's saying it's about your channeling goal. So it's saying that you're meant to follow this path where you become a channel, learn to channel. And it's emphasized, that's what the 0 is about. The 0 is the goal, the 2 is the channeling, and the 1 is about it being your unique individual path. Unique is probably the best way to look at it. So it's like, this is my gift. This is how I'm meant to do it. You looked through the silvery metallic coins in my pockets until I found enough to total 210. So the silvery tells us that your channeling works through feeling. And so now we understand why the dream says you need to work on clearing issues that muddy or make your emotions murky. So if you clear your heart chakra, then your ability to receive information through feeling is going to be much clearer. That's the goal. And like I said at the start of the show, this is what you need to overcome because it's going to bring you closer to your goal. You say that anyway, you got the right amount of money. One that I looked at in particular had 10 on it and was written in acrylic. So 10 is about completion. So this is really good. It's an emphasis to say, like, this is you getting to. So if you've been on a path for a while and you see a number 10 showing up in your dream, the dream is saying, this is the last step. You know, I always say your guides and guardian angels never tell you the full route. They just say, this is the next step. And when you say, well, I want to know where I'm going, they're saying, let's focus on where you are and the next place you need to be. And then when you get there, we'll help you with the next. So this is saying this is the last step. So that's fantastic. Always good in a dream. So all the other work you've done, that even though it may feel like I'm not sure that I've gotten where I need to go, it all leads up to this final step, which is really cool. And it's written in acrylic, and that's what you said earlier. You can read a bit of Russian. But it's about your ability to decipher and understand things. I laid down the coins on the edge of a fourth pond. And where's this fourth pond come from? Because you said there was 2 on one side and 1 on another. Anyway, 4 is a bit of a limitation. So we need to overcome the limitations around spiritual work. And suddenly I realized I was not fat. I was pregnant. I was 21 weeks pregnant. So here we go with the 21 again. So it means you need to overcome limitations that you have by working on opening your heart chakra even more. And that's the work I help people do. I do it through a mix of 4 therapies that includes cutting the ties that bind. And it's a process. It's a process that just works. You get involved in the process and it's going to take you where you need to go. But you need to do something like that to help you heal. But anyway, you put the money down and then you notice you're pregnant. So it's saying working on this is going to bring in a new aspect of you. And the being pregnant is about you bringing in this new aspect of you. So it's very encouraging, extremely encouraging. In fact, being pregnant in a dream is probably one of the best dreams you can have. Super, super positive. You say you look over to your right and there was a farmhouse. So a farmhouse is also about the emotions and isolating yourself, because farmhouses are on their own. They sit there on their own. There's nothing else near them. And so it's about you being closed off. And so you need to open up. That's what we're talking about with the heart chakra. There was a tiny mewing kitten on the front step. I sensed it needed to do his business and wanted help. So this is about your digestive system. So the dream is saying, work on the issues that cause you digestive system discomfort, trouble. And that's going to help you. And the kitten tells us about that. But then you also say he's there to do his business. So that 2 things clearly tell us it's about that. And these are all linked. Anything you see in a dream, they're all linked. So work on that. It's going to help with your channeling. It's going to help broaden your channel. It's going to help all the other things that we see, including what's coming up. You say, just as I approached the door, the farmer opened the door. He was very tall, so therefore he's going to be a guide, and had a rather Nordic appearance with a large nose and blonde hair. Whatever about the nose. Blonde hair is characteristic of a guide. I get people writing comments all the time. Yeah. Someone with blonde hair is a guide. You're an idiot, Michael. Well, it's true. And no, I'm not. I find it funny how people with no experience and no ability to channel on dreams will try to tell me what they mean. Of course, these people don't tell me what they mean. They just say that's a foolish thing. Anyway, blonde hair represents purity of thought. Nothing to do with the Aryan race or anything like that. Anyway, he either spoke a Scandinavian language or with a Scandinavian accent. He thanked me and allowed me to pet the kitten, but said he would take care of him. So that's really good. Your guide is saying they will take care of your digestive system problem. So get to the point where you can hear your guides through feeling, through clairsentience, and they're going to help you deal with the issue with your digestive system. I felt disappointed, but did not argue. So this is going to be disappointment connected to dad, because the person here in the dream is male. So what was your relationship with dad? What was his reaction to your arrival? Because this is right as you're approaching the door. You don't go into the building, but it's close enough to say, what was his reaction to your mom telling him that she was pregnant with you? And the disappointment here is something you're going to have to work on. And it's going to be part of why you have the issues where you keep people distant. Suddenly, I was in what looked like a kindergarten classroom. So it brings it back to childhood, which approaching that door did anyway. I was no longer the one who was pregnant. Rather, it was an acquaintance of mine and the woman I was talking to. She had done a chemical test and found that the young lady was pregnant with a little boy. I simply nodded out of interest, but did not see how it was relevant. Okay, so everything was great up until this point, and it's fine being in the kindergarten classroom, and it's fine that an acquaintance is pregnant. So if you know this person, what are her traits? Especially what are her positive traits, because she's pregnant. What are her positive traits on the masculine energy side? And that's to do with confidence, belief in yourself, feeling worthy of the space you occupy, ability to own a room, be assertive, to, all that sort of stuff. That's masculine energy. And so something new is coming for you because she's pregnant with a boy that is in that area. And so we're going to assume it's going to be something like confidence in channeling, the ability to stand in front of somebody else and say, no, this is what I'm getting. This is correct. This is whatever it is. You'll already know what it is, but it's in that area. And the only part that's sad here is you said you simply nodded out of interest, but did not see how it was relevant. So suddenly everything else in the dream is almost thrown away by you saying, I don't see the relevance. So all these things together that you have to work on are going to bring in a new aspect of you. But after meeting this male and then the switch here, you're saying, I don't see the relevance to me. You got to overcome that. It is all relevant to you. Working on yourself, healing the issues around dad, or anything that causes you to keep your heart closed. Normally it's a mom thing, but here it's quite unique because we see dad showing up and we see the disappointment. And if you have questions about this, anybody whose dream I ever do on the show, you're entitled to email me and say, can we meet and talk? And I do that all the time. So we can get more details out of this and I can channel on it during that call if need be. But it's a really good dream, even though at the end you kind of lose interest in it. It's a super, super dream. Really like it. And you called it green and pregnant. So definitely it's working on the heart chakra, but it's going to help you with your masculine energy too. All right. So I'm going to skip one for a second and go to this one. This one is from Misty, and she's wondering if whether being on tour is the same as a concert. So let's have a look at the dream. She says in her comments, I know this dream is littered with channeling symbols and that commitment to meditation will help with channeling. Okay. I love it when people send me their dream and they send me the analysis based on my dictionary or other work at other shows they've listened to. I'm always going to pick those dreams over anybody else because these people are really putting in the work. It's not easy. You said, I've had two experiences now where intense vibration rises up my body and I can see in my mind's eye flashes of images and a message, but those have only happened right after waking up. And that's okay, it's good. Most people don't have that at all. So it's really good. Question, does the neighborhood represent anything? Is going on tour the same as a concert in your dictionary? Okay, so let's have a look at the dream. Ed Sheeran, of course, is a singer, so it's about channeling, and Misty gets 10 points for that. Ed Sheeran was having a contest and one winner would be chosen to go on tour with him. So you're already on tour, Misty. You're already here on the planet on your tour, and your tour is going to include channeling because Everybody in the dream is you. So Ed Sheeran also represents you. So you've got the ability to channel already. Now in this dream, you're trying to win it by entering this competition and contest, but you've already got it. So you need to drop the competition or sense of competition that you have in your life. Anyway, one person's going to be chosen to go on tour with him. You're already chosen. I submitted a short guitar session, which was accepted to enter the contest. And of course, playing the music is also about channeling, playing the guitar. I kept practicing and went into more qualifying rounds. So you're qualified. You keep getting qualified. You're being told over and over again, look, this is your gift. You've got this ability. But you're the one that's saying, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if it's for me. And that's why all these rounds are showing up. It was down to 3 people. 3 is to do a commitment. So you're meant to commit. And you said that. You said meditation, commitment to meditation. So 3 is also about meditation. But you have another symbol later on that really is meditation. It was down to 3 people, a man, a woman, and me. He met us in a neighborhood and let the woman go from the competition. So in the neighborhood, you asked what's the neighborhood about. So if you ask me, am I close to something? And I say, well, you're in the neighborhood of it. You already know what that means. And that's what it's going to mean in the dream. It's like you're right. You're really close. Like you can get out of your car now and walk the rest of the way. It's that kind of close. It's really good. Ed says, this was really tough for me. And then chose the man. Okay. So this is going to be one of your issues. The man gets chosen. You're not male. So you've got to overcome whatever it is that makes you think that you need to have more confidence, or you need to be male to do this, or etc., etc. Whatever qualifying traits you see in a man that you don't have, overcome the idea that you need those things to do this. So if I was talking to you, I would ask, how did you feel in the dream? Why did the man get it? And that's going to be what you need to adopt in yourself. Okay. It's not that you drop those traits, you adopt them and don't fear that you don't have them. Anyway, I hope I'm explaining that okay. I was disappointed, but still applauded for his choice. I went to walk away and Ed called out, wait, I like the work you've submitted. How would you like to tour with me as well? I was shocked and all I could do was nod my head yes. He gave me a pamphlet that was set in a triangular prism. And that's the meditation symbol, which is perfect. I gave him a huge smile and said, thank you. Then as I walked away, it began to sink in and I was squealing with excitement. So do you see that excitement you have in the dream right there? That is the excitement you're going to have when you start channeling for people professionally and doing it because he's a professional musician. He goes on tours, does all these things. And so basically he's on the road. It's called on the road. And that's what you need to be. Not that you're touring around, nothing against that, you can. But you need to be out there in the open and working at it, getting gigs, getting people booking you. And so you go to walk away from it and he says, hey, I like what you're doing as well, and gives you this triangular thing. So this is what you need to do to overcome whatever your blocks are. Ed Sheeran is a guide in the dream because he has a title and he's a singer and so on. And he gives you the triangular prism, which is the meditation. So the dream is saying, meditate, get into this stronger connected state by working on it, and you will get there. There's no way you can have this dream and not get there. So it's going to bring in the level of excitement that you have in the dream. I find it funny doing this type of dream because I teach people how to channel, and we started a class. We've done 2 of them now so far, where I'm teaching a large group of people how to channel. And it's hard to explain on a show because there's 14 weeks in the program that I do. And there's multiple sessions in it, like per week. So I know what you need to do. And I know what everybody needs to do to channel. But I can just guarantee you that you're going to get there based on this dream. It's quite a good dream. So it's like you're selected, you're chosen. You need to feel, and this is masculine energy, feel chosen. Like, this is me. I'm the one that needs to be on the stage doing this sort of thing. So what would it mean if you're feeding a baby giraffe in a dream? Well, let's take a look at one. This is from Melissa. She says, I walked into a room. There was a woman attempting to feed a baby giraffe, but he was pretty upset. So I walked over to him and put my hands on him and soothed him. He became very calm and laid down on the ground. He was in my lap at this point. I told the lady that I was an animal communicator, wanting her to know that's why he relaxed. But I wasn't even really communicating with him like I would in a typical communication session. It was more of a knowing between us. But it wasn't just that relaxed him. It was me being by him and putting my hand on him that calmed him down. I knew that he was in the position he would normally eat in, so I knew he was ready to eat, but she wasn't feeding him. She said that when she attempted to feed him before, that a bunch of people were in the room and all eyes were on him, and that's when he got upset. Not upset mad, but upsetting to him. So I knew he was ready to eat, but she still wasn't feeding him. So I was going to take the bottle and feed him, but then I woke up. And she calls it calming a baby giraffe. So the obvious things in this dream, first of all, you're a guide because you have the giraffe in your dream. And that, like I always say, tall people, like earlier in the show, tall people are guides typically. And you don't get taller than a giraffe. So very good sign. Then also you put your hands on him and calm him down. So you have a hands-on healing ability. You came in as a guide, but your start to life wasn't that easy. And that's what the difficulty with being fed. You're also a spiritual leader because when a group shows up, a bunch of people show up, the giraffe gets upset when all the eyes are on him. So you need to overcome this. You need to overcome whatever causes you to lose your calm state when you're in the role of being a spiritual leader and teaching. And we're pretty much out of time. But anyway, issues at the start of life connected to mom because the giraffe is on the bottle and so on. That's what you need to work on. And if you've worked on that type of thing before, it's not going to take a lot to do it this time around. But this is going to help raise your vibration, help you be who you are, and stay in that heightened state while working with people. So that's it. That's my show for this week. Do remember, we have the webinar November 30th and December 1st. Free events. Go to my website, dream-analysis.com to get the links to register for those. See you next week.